अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishnapreshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshetarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Just something. It's just getting dry because of the heater.
Oh, okay.
I hope you all are doing good.
Yes, Mataji, we are doing good.
Yeah, so we were in introduction, and I had marked last time where we have to start. Okay.
Mataji, मैं थोड़ा listening mode में रहूंगी आज क्योंकि कश्यप बाहर गए हुए ये नित्यन है मेरे साथ तो.
Sure, Mataji, no problem. I can.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. How are you?
Good, Mataji.
And how is Ahna?
Anna is doing good too.
Yeah, she was not
She's
well
better
yesterday.
now. My nose is trippy. So now both of us.
Oh, yeah. Change of weather is always like that. Yeah. Okay, so we are into introduction of Bhagavatam. And in introduction, Prabhupada is emphasizing that how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is living Bhagavat. Like he preached Bhagavatam and he lived Bhagavatam. So lived by example. So, I mean, we have to see his example. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada is saying that, to have a quick like peek into his life will be really, really beneficial for us. So let's read. So whoever is available to read, they can raise their hand. I know two of you have already told me that they are busy. I mean, they are taking.
I can read, Mataji.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so you can start as well, Mataji, from here.
So we have to read from the law. I have my tablet. I'm gonna use that.
Sure. So yeah, until you open, I can read, and once you are ready, you can just raise your
No,
hand.
I'm ready now. The Lord's
Okay.
early life, right?
Sure, yes.
The Lord's early life was recorded by one of his chief devotees and contemporaries, namely Srila Murari Gupta, a medical practitioner of that time. And the later part of the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was recorded by his private secretary Sri Damodar Goswami or Srila Swarupa Damodar, who was practically a constant companion of the Lord at Puri. These two devotees recorded practically all the incidents of the Lord's activities and later on all the books dealing with the Lord, which are above mentioned, were composed on the basis of kadachas,
Kadachas, yeah, or the diaries, yeah.
Oh, Kadchas, notebooks by Srila Damodar Goswami and Murari Gupta. Should I continue?
Yeah, you can continue until you want.
Okay. So the Lord advented himself on the Falguni Purnima evening of 1407 Shakabda,
Hmm.
and it was by the will of the Lord that there was a lunar eclipse on that evening. During the hours of eclipse, it was the custom of the Hindu public to take bath in the Ganges or any other sacred river and chant the Vedic mantras for purification. When Lord Chaitanya was born during the lunar eclipse, all India was roaring with the holy sound of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. These 16 names of the Lord are mentioned in many Puranas and Upanishads, and they are described as the Taraka Brahmanama of this age. It is recommended in the Shastras that offenseless chanting of these holy names of the Lord can deliver a fallen soul from material bondage. There are innumerable names of the Lord both in India and outside, and all of them are equally good because all of them indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because these 16 are especially recommended for this age, people should take advantage of them and follow the path of the great acharyas who attained success by practicing the rules of the Shastras, revealed scriptures.
Hmm. Okay.
If someone else want to read, I'll just take a break.
Okay, sure. So I'll continue. The simultaneous occurrence of Lord's appearance and the lunar eclipse indicated the distinctive mission of the Lord. This mission was to preach the importance of chanting the holy names of the Lord in this age of Kali, quarrel. In this present age, quarrels take place even over trifles, and therefore the Shastras have recommended for this age a common platform for realization, namely chanting the holy names of the Lord. People can hold meetings to glorify the Lord in their respective languages and with melodious songs, and if such performances are executed in an offenseless manner, it is certain that the participants will gradually attain spiritual perfection without having to undergo more rigorous methods. At such meetings, everyone, the learned and the foolish, the rich and the poor, the Hindus and the Muslims, the Englishmen and the Indians, and the Chandalas and Brahmanas can all hear the transcendental sounds and thus cleanse the dust of material association from the mirror of the heart. To confirm the Lord's mission, all the people of the world will accept the holy name of the Lord as the common platform for the universal religion of mankind. In other words, the advent of the holy name took place along with the advent of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When the Lord was on the lap of his mother, he would at once stop crying as soon as the ladies surrounding him chanted the holy names and clapped their hands. This particular incident was observed by the neighbors with awe and veneration. Sometimes the young girls took pleasure in making the Lord cry and then stopping him by chanting the holy name. So, from his very childhood, the Lord began to preach the importance of holy name. In his early age, Lord Sri Chaitanya was known as Nimai. This name was given by his beloved mother because the Lord took his birth beneath a Nimba tree in the courtyard of his paternal house. When the Lord was offered solid food at the age of 6 months in Annaprashana ceremony, the Lord indicated his future activities. At this time, it was customary to offer the child both coins and books in order to get some indication of the future tendencies of the child. The Lord was offered on one side coins and on the other side Srimad Bhagavatam. The Lord accepted the Bhagavatam instead of coins. When he was a mere baby crawling in the yard, one day a snake appeared before him, and the Lord began to play with it. All the members of the house were struck with fear and awe, but after a little while the snake went away, and the baby was taken away by his mother. Once he was stolen by a thief who intended to steal his ornaments, but the Lord took a pleasure trip on the shoulder of bewildered thief who was searching for a solitary place in order to rob the baby. So it so happened that the thief, wandering hither and thither, finally arrived just before the house of Jagannath Mishra, means Mahaprabhu's house only, his father's house. and being afraid of being caught, dropped the baby at once. So these are all divine pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself. Of course, the anxious parents and relatives were glad to see the lost child. Once a pilgrim Brahmana was received at the house of Jagannath Mishra, and when he was offering food to the Godhead, the Lord appeared before him and partook the prepared food. So he was like in a child form and he just came and ate the food. The eatables had to be rejected because the child touched them. And so the Brahmana had to make another preparation. The next time, the same thing happened. And when this happened repeatedly for the third time, the baby was finally put to bed. At about 12 at night, when all the members of the house were fast asleep within their closed rooms, the pilgrim Brahmana offered his specially prepared food to the deity, and in the same way, the baby Lord appeared before the pilgrim and spoiled his offerings. The Brahmana began to cry, but since everyone was fast asleep, no one could hear him. At that time, the baby Lord appeared before the fortunate Brahmana and disclosed his identity as Krishna himself. The Brahmana was forbidden to disclose this incident, and the baby returned to the lap of his mother. So actually, Brahmana was calling the Lord, right, to eat the food or eat the bhoga. So Lord was coming because this Brahmana was calling, but Brahmana couldn't recognize him because he was in baby form. So then he disclosed his identity, but told him not to tell this incident to anyone. So there are many similar incidents in his childhood. As a naughty boy, he sometimes used to tease the Orthodox Brahmanas who used to bathe in Ganges. When Brahmanas complained to his father that he was splashing them with water instead of attending school, the Lord suddenly appeared before his father, right? So from there, he will immediately appear before his father, as though just coming from school with all his school clothes and books, right? But actually, he was splashing water at those Brahmanas. At the bathing ghat, he also used to play jokes on the neighboring girls who engaged in worshipping Shiva in hopes of getting good husbands. This is a common practice among unmarried girls in Hindu families. While they were engaged in such worship, the Lord naughtily appeared before them and said, "My dear sisters, please give me all the offerings you have just brought for Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is my devotee and Parvati is my maidservant. If you worship me, then Lord Shiva and all the other demigods will be more satisfied." Some of them refused to obey the naughty Lord, and he would curse them that due to their refusal, they would be married to old men who had 7 children by their previous wives. So he will curse them like that, but jokingly. Out of fear and sometimes out of love, the girls would also offer him various goods. And then the Lord would bless them and assure them that they would have very good young husbands and that they would be mothers of dozens of children. The Lord's blessings would enliven the girls, but they used often to complain of these incidents to their mothers. In this way, the Lord passed his early childhood. When he was just 16 years old, he started his own Chatushpathi. That means village school conducted by a learned Brahmana. So just at the age of 16, he started this Chatushpathi. In this school, he would simply explain Krishna even in readings of grammar. So every time he will teach grammar, he will explain about Krishna only through that grammar. So he was so much filled with thoughts of Krishna. Srila Jiva Goswami, in order to please the Lord, later composed a grammar in Sanskrit in which all the rules of grammar were explained, with examples that use the holy names of the Lord. So all the rules of grammars through holy names of the Lord. So in our beginning of our childhood also, we see that many kids were named after God's names. So that was the reason, that there should be some reason to take names, holy names of God, because they are very powerful, non-different than the Lord himself. So that's why this was the tradition. Yeah. So yes, Ritul Prabhu, you can read after this line. This grammar is still current. It is known as Harinamamrita Vyakran and is prescribed in the syllabus of schools in Bengal. Right? So very, very wonderful way to remember Krishna. Hare Krishna, Ritil Prabhu. Yeah, you're raising hand for a question or reading?
Reading.
Okay, wonderful, Prabhu. Yeah, from here.
During this time, a great Kashmir scholar named Keshava Kashmiri came to Navadvipa to hold discussions on the Shastras. The Kashmiri Pandita was a champion scholar, and he had traveled to all places of learning in India. Finally, he came to Navadvipa to contest the learned Panditas there. The Panditas of Navadvipa decided to match Nimai Pandita Lord Chaitanya with the Kashmiri Pandita, thinking that if Nimai Pandita were defeated, they would have another chance to debate with the scholar. For Nimai Pandita was only a boy. And if the Kashmiri Pandita were defeated, then they would even be more glorified because people would proclaim that a mere boy of Nadipa had defeated a champion scholar who was famous throughout India. It so happened that Nimai Pandita met Keshava Kashmiri while strolling on the banks of Ganges. The Lord requested him to compose a Sanskrit verse in praise of the Ganges, and the Pandita within a short time composed 100 slokas, reciting the verses like a storm and showing the strength of his vast learning. Nimai Pandita at once memorized all the slokas without an error. He quoted the 64th sloka and pointed out certain rhetorical and literary irregularities. He particularly questioned the Pandita's use of word uh, Bhavani Bhartu. He pointed out that the use of this word was redundant. Bhavani means the wife of Shiva, and who else can be her bharta or husband? He also pointed out several other discrepancies, and the Kashmir Pandita was struck with wonder. He was astonished that a mere student of grammar could point out the literary mistakes of an erudite scholar. Although this matter was ended prior to any public meeting, the news spread like wildfire all over Navadvipa. But finally, Keshava Kashmiri was ordered in a dream by Saraswati, the goddess of learning, to submit the Lord, and thus Kashmiri Pandita became follower of the Lord. The Lord was then married with great pomp and gaiety, and at this time he began to preach the congregational chanting of holy name of the Lord at Navadvipa. Some of the Brahmanas became envious of his popularity and they put many hindrances on his path. They were so jealous that they finally took the matter before the Muslim magistrate at Navadvipa. Bengal was then governed by Pathans, and governor of province was Nawab Hussain Shah. The Muslim magistrate of Navadvipa took up the complaints of the Brahmanas seriously, and at first he warned the followers of Nimai Pandita not to chant loudly the name of Hari. But Lord Chaitanya asked his followers to disobey the orders of the Qazi, and they went on with their Sankirtan chanting party as usual. The magistrate then sent constables to interrupted a Sankirtan and broke some of the mridangas. When Nimai Pandita heard of this incident, he organized a party for civil disobedience. He is the pioneer of the civil disobedience movement in India for the right cause. He organized a procession of 100,000 men with thousands of mridangas and Kartalas hand symbols, and this procession passed over the road of Nadipa in defiance of Qazi who had issued the order. Finally, the procession reached the house of Qazi, who went upstairs out of fear of the masses. The great crowd assembled at the Qazi's house displayed a violent temper, but the Lord asked them to be peaceful. At this time, the Qazi came down and tried to pacify the Lord by addressing him as nephew. He pointed out that he referred to Nilambara Chakravati as uncle, and thus Srimati Sachi Devi, Nimai Pandita's mother, was his cousin sister. He asked the Lord whether his sister's son could be angry at his maternal uncle, and the Lord replied that since the Qazi was his maternal uncle, he should receive his nephew well at his home. In this way, the issue was mitigated, and the two learned scholars began a long discussion on the Quran and Hindu Shastras. The Lord raised the question of cow killing, and the Qazi properly answered him by referring to the Quran. In turn, the Qazi also questioned the Lord about cow sacrifice in the Vedas. And the Lord replied that such sacrifice as mentioned in the Vedas is not actually cow killing. In that sacrifice, an old bull or cow was sacrificed for the sake of receiving a fresh, younger life by the power of Vedic mantras. But in the Kali Yuga, such cow sacrifices are forbidden because there are no qualified brahmanas capable of conducting such sacrifice. In fact, in Kali Yuga, all yagnas are forbidden because they are useless attempts by foolish men. In Kali Yuga, only the Sankirtana Yagna is recommended for all practical purposes. Speaking in this way, the Lord finally convinced the Qazi, who became the Lord's follower. The Qazi thenceforth declared that no one should hinder the Sankirtana movement, which was started by the Lord. And the Qazi left this order in his will for the sake of progeny. The Qazi's tomb still exists in the area of Navdeepa, and Hindu pilgrims go there to show their respects. The Qazi's descendants are residents, and they never objected to Sankirtana even during the Hindu-Muslim riot days. Somebody can continue from here, Madan. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so nice, this Chand Qazi's pastime. We did a few times in drama. So that reminds
Yeah,
me.
this is very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, when I was reading, I was like, wow, like Hindu-Muslim riots were going for forever, and it's really like I also have like some Muslim friends at my work, and they eat like non-veg and everything, but it's really I mean, it's really hard to convince them to like if we got into argument, it's really hard for but there are also some Muslims who are interested in Bhagavad Gita, and I gave one book to one of the Muslim person who just joined there. So yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. In Vrindavan, I hear that there are many Muslim devotees. So there is a possibility. There is, of course, a possibility that they can become devotees.
Yeah.
It's all about association. Okay,
Right.
so I'll continue for a little more. After this incident, the Lord began to preach and propagate his Bhagavad Dharma or Sankirtan movement more vigorously. And whoever stood against this propagation of the Yuga Dharma or duty of the age was properly punished by various types of chastisement. Two Brahmana gentlemen named Chapala and Gopala, who also happened to be maternal uncles of the Lord, were inflicted with leprosy by way of chastisement. And later, when they were repentant, they were accepted by the Lord. In the course of his preaching work, he used to send daily all his followers, including Srila Nityananda Prabhu and Thakur Haridas, two chief whips of his party, from door to door to preach the Srimad Bhagavatam. All of Navadvip was surcharged with his Sankirtan movement, and his headquarters were situated at the house of Srivas Thakur and Sri Advaita Prabhu, two of his chief householder disciples. These two learned heads of the Brahmana community were the most ardent supporters of Lord Chaitanya's movement. Sri Advaita Prabhu was the chief cause for the advent of the Lord. So, because when Advaita Prabhu was praying very, very hard, that time Lord decided to come. When Advaita Prabhu saw that the total human society was full of materialistic activities and devoid of devotional service, which alone could save mankind from the threefold miseries of material existence. So, threefold means Adhyatmic, Adidaivik, and Adi Bhautik Kleshas. Adhyatmic means which arise from our own, thinking and from inside. Adi Bhautik means caused by other living entities like insects or other humans or anything. And Adi Daivik means supernatural calamities. So, this threefold means like these three kind of miseries. So devoid of devotional service, which alone could save mankind from the threefold miseries of material existence, he, out of his causeless compassion for the age-worn human society, prayed fervently for the incarnation of the Lord and continually worshipped the Lord with water of the Ganges and leaves of holy Tulsi tree. As far as preaching work in the Sankirtan movement was concerned, everyone was expected to do his daily share according to the order of Lord. Once Nityananda Prabhu and Srila Haridas Thakur were walking down a main road, and on the way they saw a roaring crowd assembled. Upon inquiring from passerby, they understood that two brothers named Jagai and Madhai were creating a public disturbance in a drunken state. They also heard that these two brothers were born in a respected Brahmana family, but because of low association, they had turned into debauchees of the worst type. They were not only drunkards but also meat eaters, woman hunters, dacoits, and sinner of all description. Srila Nityananda Mahaprabhu heard of all these stories and decided that these two fallen souls must be the first to be delivered. If they were delivered from their sinful life, then the good name of Lord Chaitanya would be even still more glorified. So see how much he used to think of Lord Chaitanya. Thinking in this way, Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas pushed their way through the crowd and asked the two brothers to chant the holy name of Lord Hari. The drunken brothers became enraged upon this request and attacked Nityananda Prabhu with filthy language. Both brothers chased them a considerable distance. In the evening, the report of the preaching work was submitted to the Lord, and he was glad to learn that Nityananda and Haridas had attempted to deliver such a stupid pair of fellows. The next day, Nityananda Prabhu went to see the brothers, and soon as he approached them, one of them threw a piece of earthen pot at him. This struck him on the forehead, and immediately blood began to flow. But Nityananda Prabhu was so kind that instead of protesting this heinous act, he said, "It does not matter that you have thrown this stone at me. I still request you to chant the holy name of Lord Hari." One of the brothers, Jagai, was astonished to see this behavior of Nityananda Prabhu, and he at once fell down at his feet and asked him to pardon his sinful brother. When Madhai again attempted to hurt Nityananda Prabhu, Jagai stopped him and implored him to fall down at his feet. In the meantime, the news of Nityananda's injury reached the Lord, who at once hurried to the spot in a very fiery and angry mood. The Lord immediately invoked his Sudarshan Chakra, the Lord's ultimate weapon shaped like a wheel, to kill the sinners. But Nityananda Prabhu reminded him of his mission. The mission of the Lord was to deliver the hopelessly fallen souls of Kali Yuga, and the brothers Jagai and Madhai were typical examples of these fallen souls. 90% of population of this age resembles these brothers, despite high birth and mundane respectability. According to the verdict of the revealed scriptures, the total population of the world in this age will be of the lowest Shudra quality or even lower. It should be noted that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never acknowledged the stereotyped caste system by birthright. Rather, he strictly followed the verdict of the Shastras in the matter of one's Swarupa or real identity. So maybe we'll just finish this story. when the Lord was invoking his Sudarshan Chakra and Srila Nityananda Prabhu was imploring him to forgive the two brothers, both the brothers fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord and begged his pardon for their gross behavior. The Lord was also asked by Nityananda Prabhu to accept these repenting souls, and the Lord agreed to accept them on one condition, that they henceforward completely give up all their sinful activities and habits of debauchery. Both the brothers agreed and promised to give up all their sinful habits, and the kind Lord accepted them and did not again refer to their past misdeeds. This is specific kindness of Lord Chaitanya. In this age, no one can say that he is free from sin. It is impossible for anyone to say this. But Lord Chaitanya accepts all kinds of sinful persons on the one condition that they promise not to indulge in sinful habits after being spiritually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master. Hari Bol. Very wonderful. Beautiful life of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are so fortunate. Okay, anything to discuss or share? To add anything?
Hari Bol. Very nice story, Mataji.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, because we have only half an hour, so we are trying to, finish as much as possible in this time. But yeah, all these are stories, so it is very free, easy flowing. Like I remember that story in his childhood, the thieves tried to get his jewelry, but when they took him, Lord's effect was such that they just they just went around his house and came to his house only, and thinking that it is their house, but they were in his own house. So this kind mystical ways Lord has made many people surrender like that. And we also saw that how he was propagating chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra since his birth. So at the time of his birth, lunar eclipse was happening. And at the time of lunar eclipse, many people would, take a bath in Ganges and they will chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So although that was not the time of eclipse, I mean, Lord appeared and moon hid himself. It is explained like that. But yeah, eclipse happened. So yeah, from his very childhood, he is like propagating holy names. So this is very, very fascinating to hear. Whenever he will cry, the woman will chant Harinam. So he will start smiling. So he was encouraging even when he was an infant baby. So how much his holy name is powerful that we can think for us also. Yeah. So yeah, if there is nothing else to share, we can stop here. And I'll see you next Monday. Thank you very much. Hare
Thank you. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare
Hari Bol.
Krishna.